was SmackDown.
Okay.
Next night on Saturday was Collision, AEW, Saturday night show. And I was texting with Vlad before I get on with the summaries that I thought this was a pretty damn good show. I almost gave it an A. I'll give you guys the reason why I didn't give it an A little later on. But we start with CM Punk. He says he needs to fill people in on his history with Joe, which is true because they're not like heavyweight boxing champions. They were fighting on Ring of Honor. Like, nobody fucking saw it. So he fills everyone in. He hypes it up. They've been hyping this matchup a lot. Punk says it's the most important match of his life. I don't know about that. Okay, whatever.
Really?
Yeah. That's what he said.
That's kind of overstating it.
Yeah, I know. They got to sell the show, though. Good job selling the show. You know, you always got to say that. You always got to say this match is the most important match in my life. Okay, you know, Cena at Money in the Bank, but okay. So this match is 18 years in the making. I'm just going to skip to the match before I talk about the rest of Collision. But at the end of the show, they had their match. It was hard fought, and Punk won with a roll-up, and Punk was going to shake hands with Joe like he thought it was like Ring of Honor. They were going to show respect, but Joe really couldn't handle the loss and choked his ass out. So, what did you guys think of this little Joe Punk feud that they kind of threw together? I'll start. Yeah, Robert, go ahead. You go ahead.
It didn't live up to the hype.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but like the way it was built up, it just didn't live up to what I was, expecting from it.
I know. Well, before I say what I think, what about you, Vlad? Did you like this feud?
What? Who's to say that it's over? You guys are making it seem like based on what happened in the show, it's going to continue, and they're probably going to have a pay-per-view match. So, yes, I liked it. I thought it was fun. I think they'll have a better down the line. I don't think they need to give it all away at the weekly televised show that they have, especially if they're planning to do it again. So I thought it was a good, solid match. I thought, obviously, Punk going over is the right decision, but if they could do some kind of squeak finish where Joe wins, I wouldn't have been against that either. But either way, they should have continued it because I think there's something there where they could like draw some money together. So it's not over. Is the major point I'm trying to make.
Okay, all right. Well, that match, though, I guess was just okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on with the rest of Collision. Starks and Hobbs. Okay, here's my major criticism of this episode. Good matchup. They had a good match. Very, hard-hitting, good quality match, I thought. And then the interference came at the end when QT came in. That's where it went sideways. He trips up Ricky Starks. Ref is distracted with QT, but Hobbs hits his finishing move and gets the pinfall. But QT is pleading with Aubrey Edwards to turn around and count the pin. And Kevin Kelly had the best line of the night. He goes, QT is trying to tell her, but QT has no credibility. No referee will ever listen to him. So I love this commentary crew. Never thought I'd hear Desmond Wolfe or what's his name? Nigel McGuinness.
Nigel
McGuinness. Yeah. Never thought he would be like, color commentator on a major show from when I remember him in TNA. But, man, this commentary crew makes this show, the whole look of it, the seriousness of it, the fact that they have more serious wrestlers. This, to me, was a pretty damn good episode. But this was the chance for Hobbs to take out QT and leave QTV, and the crowd would have popped huge. They were waiting for it so bad. It was right there for the taking. Kind of like Cody Rhodes winning at WrestleMania. This should have happened right here. And that would have made this show an A show to me. Because with the match, with the tag team eliminator match that came later, with the Punk and Joe, if they had this happen, I think it would have been a pretty damn solid show overall. But it didn't happen, and what's her name? Harley Cameron steps in front of Hobbs and saves QT Marshall's life. I would have popped huge for Hobbs to have wiped out QT Marshall there. I don't know. Did anyone else get that thought, or no? Was I the only one?
Well, I don't want to say you were the. I don't want to say you were the only one that thought that he should, yes, beat the crap out of QT, but I also don't think he should have ever been with QT to begin with. So it's a double-edged sword. But I don't know what they're doing with Hobbs. I remember they had those. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I know we're trying to save time, but I remember they had those promos back in the day where he was like talking about his wiping blood from his house, and he was like so serious. It was looking like he was going to go places, but now I don't know what's going on with him and why he's in this silly stuff with QT and that the group of rejects. But anyways. I mean, what else can you call that ridiculous group that he's got there? He's got
Robert, were you waiting for that to happen? Were you waiting for him to leave QTV, or what? Are you fine with this whole angle?
I didn't care. I just didn't care. I mean
that's fair. That's fair.
Well, okay. I'm gonna just cut to the end and say I was gonna give the show an A-, but because they didn't do that angle, I'm going to give it like a B+. But before I get your grades, I'll just go through the last couple things on this show. Miro had another one of his segments where he came out of his confrontation with God, a stronger man. He says nobody can hurt a man who has no one to love and nothing to covet. So he's going to go solo now. Which I think is a good point. I think having family and loved ones is like a weakness because it gives your enemy someone to attack, really. So he says he's going to go on his own. He won't be tempted from the path by a false god or a double-jointed hot wife. He must face the path alone, and a big battle is imminent. Okay, another good segment from Miro. What else did they do? Willow and Athena, I'm actually looking forward to this match as a women's match, but that's just me.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's a good matchup.
I think so too.
But it's going to be tomorrow on Rampage, as of right now that we're recording. So Julia Hart beats a jobber, love her look. At least they make her work with someone that she can work with and look good with. So I didn't see anything bad about that. I know she's not the best, but she's okay. House of Black, I guess I'll ask you guys' opinion about this feud. They're continuing to mess with Andrade. They say Andrade is using this mask that they stole from him as a crutch, like a baby uses a teddy bear. And Andrade is interviewed in the back, and he explains the significance of the mask, what it signifies to him, that when he goes into battle, he wears the mask, and when he's outside in his regular life without the mask, he's a businessman. But he says he's willing to fight Malachi Black to the death over this mask. I'll start with Vlad. You got any thoughts on Malachi Black and Andrade feud? It's a big deal on Collision. It's one of their big angles.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my favorite. I don't hate Andrade. I think he can work, and he's proven in some matches where he can do things well, and obviously Malachi Black can work, but I don't know. There's something missing here. Plus, it's also kind of hard to. I know that Andrade tried to make an emphasis of talking slower in this last promo. He even made it like he's gonna talk. Even said I'm gonna talk slower so we could understand, like maybe 5 words instead of 3 words or 2 words. But anyways, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not really feeling it exactly, but it's just okay. It's not bad. It's not terrible. Like it's not terrible. It's not
Robert.
Is it other terrible stuff on Dynamite? But it's okay. It's just okay.
Is it too silly that they're fighting over a mask? I mean, it's happened in wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the worst angle I've seen in wrestling. So I mean, I'm not like really annoyed by it, but the people involved, I am a fan of. So at least we get some good matches with them. It's cool, but I'm not particularly fond of the angle though.
Yeah, it's very average, but okay. I mean, they got to get these workers in there somehow with some angles, so that's what they came up with. I'm not too excited by this either. But what we were excited for was this tag team eliminator match between Juice Robinson and Jay White against FTR, which the commentators here, again, the commentary, Robert, for the first time they made me understand what an eliminator match was Because I was always like, why do they call it an eliminator match? Why don't they call it a non-title match? But they kept pressing it into our heads that if they lose, they're eliminated from getting a tag title match until the title changes hands. And I'm like, okay, I can work with this. I can work. I never knew that. I watch every one of these shows, and I never knew that.
And never knew that.
And they kept banging it into our head. Nigel McGuinness kept saying, this is not fair because they have to win twice. They should have just got a title shot off the bat. So I thought they built that up very well. They explained it well. And this was a pretty much, I don't know, close to a 5-star match. I don't know if I saw anything bad about it. It wasn't the most exciting ending to it, but it was very, very, very exciting. You guys want to give your thoughts on this? I'll start with Robert.
How about we're
talking about FTR against Juice and Jay White in their eliminator match last week.
Okay. Well, Vlad already knows this because I already told him. I was watching this when I was watching this match. It was a great match in general, but I was also like in my head, I was thinking of how bad Jay White's booking has been prior to the start of Collision. They made him look really, really weak. And I've watched his run in New Japan when he was like kind of dominating everybody. They made him look really, really strong in New Japan. He looked really good. So when he came over to AEW, his booking was horrible. They made him look like trash, honestly, in my opinion. And I felt bad for like anybody who never watched his New Japan run, and this is all they had to see from him. They wouldn't know what he's capable of. So with this match, I kind of had that in mind, like, all right, they're finally starting to make him look good. Juice Robinson too, also, so I don't want to like forget about him. So I enjoyed it in multiple levels. Because first of all, it was a great match, but then I had that in mind, like, people are finally get to see what Jay White is capable of, and also Juice Robinson.
Very impressive, very impressive. Mm-hmm. I was very impressed with Jay White here. Liked it a lot. Vlad, give us some quick thoughts about this match.
I mean, it was great. This was just...
Was it a 5-star? You watched it.
Yeah. I mean, to quote Dave Meltzer, it was at least 4 3/4.
Okay.
It was close. It was as close as you get. I mean, I didn't really think about it in those terms. If it's a 5-star match, but I just knew that it was really good. Like, to be honest, until you asked me, I didn't really think about it in those terms. Like, is it a 5-star match?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Slightly flat ending, I think. Slightly flat ending. I mean, a very exciting run home, but I thought the ending was a little flat. Juice Robinson.
Well, there was a stretch where they were doing some amazing stuff. Like the last 5 minutes or last maybe 5 to 8 minutes, so good. Like how hard they were working was incredible. Like the stamina that it takes to actually wrestle that type of match and do what they were doing, it was incredible. But and you don't really see that on the other show, on the Wednesday show.
Well, if you're gonna talk about stamina, they got 2 out of 3 falls coming up next week when they do their actual title match. That's going to be very New Japan,
Robert?
I'm
looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to that.
It's going to be a great match.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great match, and not because of anything to do with New Japan. It's just going to be great.
They should
appreciate the work.
That should be a 2-hour match. That should be like the entire show.
It might be an hour for all we know.
It's going to be a 3-hour show, isn't it?
They got Battle of the Belts. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, they're going to give them some time. Now that you mention that. All right, real quick. So the other thing they had on Collision was a Sean Spears package. They're going to give him another chance. He's one of those guys that I say good worker, but they just can't figure anything out to make people interested in him. It's tough, though. It's tough. I don't know. They're going to give him a chance. He says he's going to that dark place, the dark place that he usually goes to face off against Luchasaurus and Christian. And the last thing on the show was Scorpio Sky against Action Andretti, which I thought was a good match and a good way to make Scorpio Sky return. So I already gave you guys my grade. I said B+. I don't know if this show is too far in your rear view mirror to make a grade for it. What do you guys think? Vlad, sorry. Did you... Oh, Vlad's gone.
Oh, no.
Let's
didn't want to
go.
give his opinion.
Shit. Let's see if he comes back.
All right.
Let's go with Robert. Robert, what did you think
I
of
would agree. B, well, maybe B.
B?
I'll go with B. Yeah.
Man, I thought it was overall.
That's a good grade, I think. Honestly, like it's hard to get an A nowadays. So
Yeah, that's true. You gave Forbidden Door a B, so I think that's not bad that you gave this a B also. Okay, fine. Did you have a grade for Collision? Robert gave it a B.
I would probably agree with that. I'm
B.
thinking a B. There was
All right.
B. Yeah. So I think there was good stuff, good matches, but there was also some stuff that could have been a bit better. So overall, yeah, B's fair.
All right. Let me move on.